Do you think you're talented, or do you think maybe somebody's a lot more talented than you? Well, today's video is the first video in a series of videos where I will be talking about the subject of talent, specifically how talent plays a part in learning a musical instrument. Now, I'm hoping to shed some light on what talent really is, and you can decide whether you are really talented or not. So let's get to it. Now, when I was a lot younger, I always wondered, why do prodigies exist? And in my own circle of musician friends, some of my friends were better than me, and then I was better than some of them. And I was kind of always wondered why. And when I would hear some people play, let's say they could be all the same age, but I hear them play, and it just seemed like some people had it, and some people just didn't, And I always attributed that to talent, right? If you have talent, you have it. If you don't have talent, you don't have it. However, as I became a teacher, I started to wonder more and more about how important talent really is, and more specifically, what exactly is talent anyway? Now, the reason why I started wondering this is because as I got to be a better and better teacher, and my methodology of teaching became more and more focused and more refined, I became very, very confident in my ability to tell a student, look, if you do exactly what I tell you to, I can guarantee you that you're going to reach a certain level, and I can tell you how fast you're going to get to that level. Now, the only students that I was not able to help achieve a certain level in a certain period of time were the ones that had differing practice habits. Now, they were in the minority, but there were some of them that had differing practice habits. So not only did they not practice as much as I wanted them to, but they didn't practice the way that I wanted them to practice. In other words, I found out that the biggest determining factor in a student's success, or the speed at which they achieved success, was how they practiced and how much they practiced. Now, because of my experience as a teacher, I started to put less emphasis on the importance of talent. More and more and more, I saw that talent wasn't really that important, or at least what I thought talent was. Little did I know that scientists were actually trying to figure out the same thing. There was a lot of studies going around worldwide where scientists were trying to ask a couple of questions. How important is talent? And specifically, what is talent anyway? Now, in a future video, I'm going to get more into the detailed specifics about the different scientific studies that were performed all around the world and have been for decades, right? But the gist of it is, the short answer for what talent is that talent is not the inherent ability or level of intelligence to learn a new skill or concept. What talent actually is a person's ability or willingness to put themselves in challenging situations to practice a certain way. Now, the most effective form of practice is often referred to as something called flow. So a person's ability to get into a state of flow will determine their success at practice, and therefore determine their success at learning a new skill. Now, flow is the state of mind that a person gets into when they basically lose all concept of time. So have you ever been performing a particular task? It could be in the house, it could be in the garage, maybe you learn a new cooking recipe, or maybe you learned how to code in a new computer language, or maybe it's just simple like a video game. But the point is that you were challenged, you were learning a new skill, you were getting better at it, but you weren't so frustrated that you wanted to stop or you were watching the clock. You simply lost all track of time because you were in a state of flow. Now, flow is created when you're engaged in a task that is both challenging and stimulating at the same time, right? So you basically are engaged in a task that is not too challenging that you become frustrated and quit, but it's also not so unchallenging that you get bored and quit. There's a middle line, and if you can find that, well, that's flow. Now, some people have a higher threshold of what they're willing to put themselves through to learn a new skill. Now, the violin is hard. Most people quit. Some people have personality traits that allow them to push themselves a little bit harder and still find enjoyment in it, right? Because everybody has different personality traits. Some people like to climb mountains, some people like to curl up on the bed with a good book, right? So we're all different. So in that respect, yes, people are born generally with a certain personality trait that might lend itself better to being able to put yourself into a state of flow. So back to the original question, why do we have prodigies? Why are some people better than other people? And the short answer is, it does have something to do with talent, but that talent is simply enabling yourself to be able to practice more and to practice correctly. Now, the good news is people can learn how to practice properly, and they can learn how to put themselves in a state of flow. Now, next week, we're going to go into more details about some more case studies, right? We're going to go more into the science, and we're going to go more into the case studies of prodigies, people like Tiger Woods and Sarah Chang and Mozart and, 13-year-old chess grandmasters, right? But what we're going to find is that prodigies are not necessarily born, they're created. So everybody, I hope this video was enlightening or interesting, or maybe stimulated some other ideas in your mind and opened you up to new concepts. If you have any comments, of course, put them below. If you have any questions, please put those below, because your questions give me ideas for new videos. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little alert bell, because I'm creating videos all the time for you guys. I'm trying to create some good and interesting content. So, just go ahead and do that, because I'm creating new videos like every week. So I hope you guys have a nice rest of the week, and don't forget, happy practicing.